All right. Feel like shit right now because I stayed up like 5 hours past my bedtime trying to figure out why the Mac OS build was crashing. I finally got around to just checking out the Mac OS build, see what's going on with it, and uh, yeah, I basically had um, a use after free error happening all the time. Like every time you do anything, a use after free would happen, and this is I guess one of the advantages of doing cross-platform development is some instances of undefined behavior. One compiler or one platform will be very strict about it, and another platform will be um, very lenient. So in this case, like if you do use after free on Windows, depending on I guess context, like in this case, I was like doing placement new and then accidentally calling the destructor twice in some cases, and Windows is just like, oh, you're right, you're just calling a destructor twice on a piece of memory, whatever. Whereas Mac OS is like, the fuck are you doing, mate? You can't do that. Instant crash if you try to do that. So I was like, oh, stayed up. Just terrible night. Like every time I was like, all right, I'll just try this, and then if it doesn't work, I'll go to bed. And I kept saying that for about 4 hours. Um, and yeah, and every build took forever because I was building it with Xcode's address sanitizer turned on, which, as much as I dislike macOS development, um, the address sanitizer, I actually know how to turn it on. I can't say that for Windows. Well, I know how to do it on Windows, but the problem with the Microsoft address sanitizer is you need to turn it on for absolutely every dependency static library that you're linking against, which I can't do that because I'm linking against pre-built static libraries, and I can't be bothered to fuck around turning on address sanitizer for everything. It's never going to work anyway, even if I try and figure out how to do that. Um, but with Xcode, you can just turn it on for one like module, I guess. And it's just fine and it works. Um, so I failed to figure it out. Like I was like 5 hours past my bedtime. Went to bed, woke up again 3 hours later because at this point it was like early morning and there was just like noises everywhere. And so I woke up, couldn't get back to sleep, so I just went straight back to Xcode. And at this point, I was just like, ha! I was just completely dead. I don't know how I managed to solve the fucking problem, but I got there in the end. They went back to bed again, and then wake up again, and that was about an hour ago. So now I'm just feeling like garbage because I've slept like 8 hours, but in 4 hour bursts. Anyway, there you go. If I sound even more insane than usual, then that's what's going on. So I've just built Blockhead in release mode with debug info because I want to actually start playing around with it properly to find some of the more obscure bugs, maybe, if there are any left. The problem with debug mode is everything's so slow that you can't really build up a very large project. And sometimes that's the only place that certain bugs will pop up is if you have quite a big project. So let's just start doing stuff. Oh yeah, this I noticed this already with so with this loopback buffer. As you can see, there's two channels to this audio data, and in cases where like there's data more sort of to the left or to the right, you get these sort of grey areas where it's just showing data for one channel, and when they overlap it accumulates like 0.5 plus 0.5 to get one white, and that's just how the rendering works. And I noticed that if you set up a buffer with just one channel, instead of being white, it's just grey. Because it's only showing one channel, which didn't used to be the case. I've obviously broken something. Also, why is there a vertical line at the bottom? What is that? I don't know what that is. If I set up a stereo... This is like my own hardware loopback. What's going on there? I've got... Bat. What is that line? I don't know what that line is. What is that line? That's the sound of my own voice. That's horrible. I don't know what that line is. So, like I said, my brain is just dead right now. And I'm not drinking coffee because I don't want to... I could just drink coffee. Maybe I'll make a coffee. But it's like... My sleeping is so fucked up that I feel like I shouldn't be injecting caffeine into my system right now. So I just had a cup of tea. My brain's not working. What am I looking for? Stuff. Input panel. Look at this Godot bug. Sometimes it does this, where it just shows this icon here. For everything. And to fix it, you can just do that. I don't know why it does that. What would it be? Input buffer view waveform. I want to look at it in here. What is that line? I have no idea what that line is. Current buffer. This is going to be hard to do on one monitor. I usually do this on 2 monitors. So I'm using the Godot editor to remotely inspect the currently running application. This is a thing that you can do with Godot, which is quite nice. If you want to inspect the scenes. Maybe this default for the threshold should be higher, because I've noticed it's not stopping when I stop talking. Maybe it should default to like 50. But or 40. Was it always 60 back? 60 is like... Oh, you can't even put it to 60. Breakpoint? Oh, I had this breakpoint. I think it should default to like 40 instead. That seems more sensible. But I guess with the loopback buffer, you don't want it to... Maybe for the loopback buffer, it should default to 60, -60. And then with user-created buffers, probably default to 40. But I'll make a note of that. I'm not going to do that right now. Why the fuck is Evernote not working? I need to fucking cancel my Evernote subscription because it's such a terrible piece of software now. I'm supposed to have a little thing down here where I can add quick notes, but view. The fuck? It's just broken. Oh, fuck it. I'm just going to forget about that idea that I had instead of making a note. Because I don't know where else to put my notes in a place where I'm actually going to look. Right. What was I doing? Right, view. Oh, shit. What is all this? Oh, these are chunks. Okay. That's fine. So this one here. View. So if I hide the waveform. Oh, it's part of the waveform. What? So maybe it's related to the fact that maybe it's related to the waveform data being grey when there's one channel. What is happening? What's happening? Catch buffer. Well, first of all, this is wrong. Catch buffer. I swear this didn't used to be like this. Channel count. Should be like this. I wonder if this will magically solve the horizontal line. Oh, I fixed it. So I guess that horizontal line I was seeing was just like, it was the other channel. I don't know why it would, I don't know what's happening. Something in the shader was causing that to happen. Something with the way that I'd written the shader.